7, 9. Yes,
Welcome to another episode of Around the Way Curls. Internet, how are you doing? How's everything this week? You okay?
No.
and we're off.
I'm all right. I'm sitting with myself. I'm still sitting. I'm doing what you be telling me to do. And I'm sitting with myself. I'm feeling my feelings. And you know what? On Can't Afford Therapy, another podcast that comes out every Wednesday, we incorporated, and this is my idea, and I can't stand myself. We incorporated a feelings wheel at the top of every episode, since we tend to talk about some kind of, they're not always heavy, but they're topics where I need to know where you're at today before we talk about them, right? I need to know where I'm at too. And I don't be knowing where I'm at. I look at the feelings wheel like, how do I feel? And every week I'm like anxious. It's just like a different iteration of anxiety. Or tired. And it's not even like I'm in a bad mood, but I think that I actually don't have the language or can't identify how I actually feel because I'm going. So with that said, I'm sitting with myself, still high functioning, getting the shit out, showing up, doing the things, but I don't know if I know how I feel outside of when I feel lonely or sad. I know that. But I also think to myself, is that really what I'm feeling? Or is that just what I have the language for? Mm-hmm. Is that what I, attribute my, whatever it is that I'm feeling, I go straight to that because that's what I understand. That's what the narrative in my head has been. Oh, you feel like this? It's because of X. So I definitely need therapy. And I'm not over here tripping. I'm not over here, well, I should say I'm not over here tripping regularly. I am tripping. It's just not 24/7. But I don't know. I think with all of the things, all of the doing, that I've lost touch with how I feel. And we talked about, I don't know when it'll come out, but we just recorded an episode on the effects of cheating and being cheated on. And I remember my therapist at the time, after I had been cheated on and was like devastated by this breakup, and myself. I was devastated mostly with myself. But I remember her saying, I kept ruminating. And she was like, you have to try to be present. So I want you to practice this thing that when you find yourself going back to these same emotions, these same feelings, and you have a hard time getting out of it, I want you to take a moment and maybe close your eyes and ask yourself, what are 3 things you smell? What are 3 things you feel? How do you, what are the tastes in your mouth? Can you feel the breeze? And I've been trying to do that, and I'm out of touch with my senses as well. Because I don't know. I'll be like, I don't fucking know what I smell. What do I smell? What does my house smell like? I put on shea butter that I whip up and put fragrance in. How do I not smell something? And everybody else who comes in here is always like, oh, it smells so good, or this, and I've lost that. What do you feel? Like, do I feel the fan blowing on my skin right now? Do I feel this project heat pumping, even though it was 70 degrees a day? I don't know if I'm even like alive in that way right now. And so that's a bit of cause for concern. But also Jasmine sent me, she's so fucking annoying. She sends me a bunch of chaos. She never writes anything. It'll just be the meme or the clip or the video. And always sporadically placed in there is some shit that really hits. That, like, she's basically saying, hi, this is you. All right, I'm out. And so there was this woman talking about the effects of depression on Black women and how there's a study that was just done at NYU that has now proven that Black women suffer from depression differently than women of other races. And by the end of it, she talks about how in most, it's the typical things where Black women feel shame around even having these kind of feelings because they have to do more, they have to this, they have to that. They're usually high functioning, all the things that I think many of us would guess. But then she was saying they're not present in their bodies enough to even feel pleasure. And I was just like, ugh. And on that same episode, we were talking with the Precan for Therapy, somehow, not on the same episode. Yes, the same episode. Somehow it came up that I haven't had a whole lot of pleasure with partners. And I was just like, is that another, barrier? So I'm doing a lot of like sitting with myself and trying to even feel whatever it is that I'm feeling and be able to voice that. But I'm thinking that,
We're not
it
even
might
have the expectation of having to voice it yet, right? Like just feeling the things.
I feel it. I think I feel it. I don't feel the being present. I feel this thing though. It's like woo. Because again, language is not my thing. So all you get is woo. Right? That's what I'm feeling, that woo, the weight or the whatever. But I don't know. So I might need to take, I'm thinking I might need to take part of the summer off. I think I need to disappear. I think no podcasts. I think social media, no. I think just like a month of I'm out. I'm gone. Delete the apps. I don't need to promote. And of course we will record up front so that we're not gone.
The
Because I
God,
can't handle it.
the God,
Anyway,
just the artist, the master, Michaela Cole said, "I dare you. Visibility these days seems to somehow equate to success. Do not be afraid to disappear from it, from us, for a while, and see what comes to you in the silence." So I'm 100% like, girl,
listen,
sit down.
might come back with a whole new face. You never know.
That is shady.
Sorry.
Wow.
Still, I'm gonna catch flack for that, but it's still, kind of a comedy podcast sometimes. I feel you. No, that's my way to deflect. No, yeah, she's dead right. You've read it to me before. You've read it to us before, and I really do want to shut up. I feel it. I really do want to shut up, and I really do want to disappear for a while and see who I am and what I am when I get back, and hopefully be better so that I can actually show up better in these roles,
Girl, I'll be like, I don't like these roles. This ain't me.
Look at Shanti trying to leave me already, y'all.
No, I'm trying to. I just want you to know, like, I think we got to know what we want. We got to know what we want, and it takes a minute to figure out what it takes. What Miles say? It takes a minute to sound like yourself. Like,
girl, that's one of my favorite quotes.
It takes a minute to know what the fuck you are, who you are.
What do you smell around you right now?
Well, I have long COVID, so
gotta go. I'm hanging up.
You know my smell. We were guerrilla style in New York City. We went to what's that place called, Internet?
So
where we went and changed. We were in Soho.
Restoration.
We went in Restoration. It was me, Antoinette, and Amanda, just acting like we were high schoolers, changing together into the bathroom. All three of us walked into the bathroom after an Asian girl pooped in it.
Oh my God,
and I did not smell it because and this is really weird. And
you really didn't smell it?
I'm going to tell you something.
Amanda was
poop and pee.
So upset.
Poop and pee, whatever those scents are, I can't smell them.
Wow.
My poop and pee, I'm sorry,
I feel like that's
different
dangerous.
than it's ever. I can smell a scent, but it's not the same as my pre-COVID poop and pee.
Maybe your diet's different. Maybe it's
no, it's long COVID. It is. I apologize for talking about that. Childish. Grow up. But I'm actually going to share even more childish things. I realized I have social media couples that I really like. I'm excited by and I cape for. I just saw that Tabria Majors is pregnant. And I got choked up for her. I got wildly jealous and then very excited and choked up for her.
You know that's Black's good friend? Like, he said she's the nicest person in the world.
She seems like she's really into her art form. Even though she, like, when she does her big every year thing, like, yes, she does her
Halloween stuff,
her influencer thing, but also she seems really dedicated to something else that I respect. I really like her, but she's pregnant. Yeah, and her part, they look like brother and sister.
They do. They're cute.
I said, that's your baby daddy. Oh, they're so sweet.
Be a cousin.
I love them. I also love Deval and Kadeem.
I don't know.
Love them. I'm obsessed with them. I'm gonna send it to you. They're from Brooklyn. They have 4 boys. They can't have a girl for the life of them. And I just am so excited by their relationship. And they catch a lot of flack for like being, gender roles and like he's a man, they follow this strict gender roles, which I think they resent. But I love their performance of their relationship that they share with us. I don't know what it's like behind closed doors, but I genuinely fuck with them. And I wasn't a believer, but I love Tabitha. Tab used to get on my nerves.
You tripping.
I am obsessed with Tab. I am rooting for Tab. Well,
that's a hot take. Tabitha Brown used to get on your nerves?
Something about her, like, I was like,
talking to the camera and stuff?
No, I ain't gonna go there, but I'm not a fan of her recipes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, God.
I'm not the biggest fan of her recipes.
You tried the carrot bacon?
I just like to watch her eat things, but I'll be like, girl, if you don't stop I know she just put yeast, soy sauce, garlic and onion powder on everything. Nutritional yeast.
I was going to say. Yeah,
or some, what's the thing that
that's
vegans
all the
put
vegans
on eggs?
Got?
Salt, black salt, which tastes like eggs. I'd be like, girl, now, she's just a black woman. That's what you put on everything. It is not that groundbreaking, but I'm sorry that I hated on it. Now, I hate to say that I have no love for Christy Sarah.
Who are, like,
people
how
will
much
know.
time
you know who Christy Sarah is?
No, I don't.
Yes, you have. They're a light-skinned couple. You have seen their videos. It's a light-skinned couple, and she has a really beautiful couple. Beautiful. Her husband has a very distinctive laugh. Like, he is half the reason that she has all the followers that she has, because he has this, you cannot listen to him laugh and not laugh.
Christy Sarah.
You've seen their stuff before, but I cannot get into them for the life of me. I will look at their videos.
You're really watching Instagram like a TV show. Do you hear yourself?
I have a problem. I'm invested in these people. I'm invested in Tab.
Oh, I've seen her. She makes the cakes. She makes the food that's actually cake.
Does she make them?
Bitch, you missing the main point about her, I think.
No, she don't make that.
Is that her?
No, she don't make the cake. She just has little skits. That's part of her content.
Oh, I thought she makes food that looks
that
like...
don't be cooking. She just be in
or
there
makes cake that looks like food.
No.
Who does that? I think that's cool. And she always brings her husband the plate, and he cuts into it, and it's not... It looks like a steak, but
not
it's actually
Christy
cake.
Stealing that other lady's content. See? That's what I knew what it was. That's what it was. Something about Christy Sarah and their light skin love. I don't
know if I'm even saying the right thing. I thought it was her, but I could have made that up.
Shout out to her. She's big time, but I don't know why I can get you.
Yeah, look, she doing it right now. Look.
She don't make them though, girl.
That's
she
bacon.
buy them. She don't make it. Yeah, and he screams. The way he laughs. Anyway,
I just want them to have other things in their house besides cake. Gray.
Girl,
everything's gray.
And I think that's what it is. It's the cold. I'm like, bitch, are you fucking what's Batman's real name?
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne? Why are you living in this cold, big, tall house? It's your Bruce Wayne house. I don't like those kind of houses.
Yeah, we really hating because we live in these boxes.
And I apologize because I know that she's probably going to hear about this and then blacklist us in the influencer world. So, Christy, I apologize.
I'm not aligned with this at all.
Oh, good. Good job. Good work by you, Internet.
Jasmine like half these videos. I love it.
She's mega. She's big time. All right. Last thing I want to say. This is a word of inspiration for y'all. Somehow I got into a rabbit hole on YouTube.
A rabbit hole? No.
And I ended up stumbling upon Cody of The Sweet Life of Cody and Zach. Do you remember that on Nickelodeon? There was two twins that lived in a hotel.
I did not have Nickelodeon. I was poor.
I didn't either, child. But somehow
So how do you know it?
Because I remember having a crush on these little twin boys.
Oh,
I don't know why, but I remember I had a crush on these white boys. They were Nickelodeon child stars. Cody. And it's come out as of recently that they were raised by a narcissistic mother. She put them in show business and lived vicariously through them and was quite abusive to them, to the point that DHS had to come take them out. And girl, get off that phone. You in a hole.
I'm looking at Cody and Zach, but Cody and Zach were also in other things.
And childhood stars, you know, they did their thing. They did the whole Nickelodeon trajectory thing, Disney thing. They were Disney, not Nickelodeon. Forgive me. They were Disney kids, which is a different beast. But anyway, it came to a point that they were taken from their mother, their abusive mother, and were put in custody of their father. And apparently Cody, I don't know what Zach's up to, but had been recovering from growing up in the spotlight, all the pressure, not having a childhood, yada, yada, yada. So he had an interview on YouTube with Diary of a CEO, which is a popular UK YouTube channel. And so the guy's interviewing Cody. Cody's about 30-something years old, maybe 30, 33 years old. And the guy is wanting to get the tea. So he goes, well, Cody, what was happening to you that DHS did come and take you from your mother? And so he wanted Cody to talk in detail about what happened to him. And Cody said no. He said, I choose not to go into the details of my abuse. I choose not to relive that part of me. That's not who I am anymore. And he said something that really fucked me up. Damn, what did he say?
Girl, you were telling us. I was into it.
Oh, he said, my wounds are not my identity. And I said, white bug Cody, me having a mother, me shitting on my mom this week on the podcast. So much of her identity is around wounds, and so much of my own identity and reopening of the wounds, rehashing, me thinking, you know, I am at fault or I'm incompetent in this thing, da-da-da-da-da, is all attached to wounds. And I was so impressed and loved him not allowing his identity to be about the pain that he endured and not sitting there with somebody and milking that cow, and even the ego stroke of him, like, getting over it and doing his healing thing. He was like, I am the wisdom that comes from those wounds and the experience that comes from those wounds, but I'm not that, and I'm not, you're not going to do that to me. So shout out to Cody and offering me
that's therapy talking.
Breakthrough. I said, no, that boy has definitely been in therapy.
Yeah, you can hear that.
He is really self-aware, eloquent. I suggest you guys go watch it, but shout out to Cody of The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I had a
shout out to him. Well, I think it's about that time. Let's get into, I ain't even going to say it's my favorite because I never really know what's going to happen with these goddamn voicemails these days. Well, let's get into some voicemails, some callers. First up, Shanti, I know that you have a rule now that if someone gets cut off, If they go past that 3-minute mark now, that
It's over.
it's over.
You're done.
I would like to say this caller called and then they did not go past 3 minutes. Then they had to call back again because they wanted to finish their thought.
Your word.
Acceptable?
Yeah.
Crazy. Oops, sorry.
Oh.
Ready?
Hey, Shanti and Antoinette. Happy Wednesday to y'all. I hope that y'all are having an amazing week. I just want to say, y'all got me sitting here at the laundromat, crying in my car as I pretend to work from home and sneak away to do laundry and listen to episode 244, Questionnaire to Oneself, featuring Nana. Shout out to Nana. Losing community. I feel so seen in this moment, in that conversation, because that's what I'm really struggling with right now, expressing my true, authentic self and being afraid that when I do that, that I am going to lose those who have been around or those who have helped shape and validate me. And Shanti, you said it earlier in the episode, I need to try to stop trying to find validation in other people and just be content and happy in the decisions that I'm making for myself. But it's what you said. We have been so conditioned to put fear of what other people think or what other people are going to do and so on and so forth above our own. What makes me feel good? What's going to make me smile? Does following what my own flow is and how my energy just allows me to do certain things, why is that a problem? And I just thank y'all so much for just being real and having these conversations and allowing for y'all ghetto friends that I don't know, like myself, to join in and tap in these conversations, because I'm not going to cry on this voice now, but I thank y'all. I feel seen, I feel heard, and I want to get this healing, and I thank y'all for being a healing space and being a place where I feel like I can be vulnerable and I can express what I need to express when I need to express it and not feel judged. Now, I do need to work on the fact that I have these conversations with Charlie and I don't respond to that, because that's what the whole podcast does. But I just want to say thank y'all. I see y'all. Keep shining. Keep flowing. And know that y'all are walking in your purpose. Bye.
Call back. Uh-oh. Please. Oh, God. Play it.
Me again. I also just want to say thank you for putting words to what it feels like to feel alone or feel like you're going to be alone. I've really struggled with this as a person, and as Nana spoke on, like, I'm a single woman. I'm a Black trans woman living in St. Louis, Missouri. That is not easy by any means, but it's my reality, and there are things that in my life I am really good at overcoming and doing. And my community is very small. And when Nana said that, she were to fall in her apartment, she wouldn't know, how many days it would take for someone to know that something happened to her. And I think about that for myself, because there are days when I can go days without speaking to people, or people know I won't answer my phone, and they'll assume everything is okay, but like, how, I don't know, girl, that just, my mind is blown. But I thank y'all for expressing feeling like you're going to lose community when you want to just express yourself. I feel like I've been in a box for so long this year, particularly, and into the Q4 of last year, of really, as I figure out who I am and I accept my trans identity and I accept who I am as a person, dealing with the people around me and realizing that, like, what I thought was community is not community because I've grown and I've matured and I've experienced things in my life that those around me and those who've been connected with me don't fully understand. And part of it's my own fault because I don't know how to open my mouth and say, hey, well, this is my experience and this is what it is and this is it. I thank y'all. Just thank you for allowing me to just go down this rabbit hole and really think about this today. I'm not going to get a lot of work done on this work from home day, but, maybe that was what Spirit needed me to do. I needed to reflect as, I'm working on some relocation things, and I just thank you, Queen. Bye.
Yeah, that was a beautiful response because I felt kind of nervous and vulnerable in that episode. I think both Nana and I did and didn't quite feel like how I was really feeling was being expressed or translated. So I guess when you show up as your best authentic self, the best that you can do, you have it then is out of your hands and becomes none of your business on what that can do for others. I think that's what just came to me and listening to your response to that. And again, it's a journey. It takes a long time, but I also think, I hope, I have faith that in us listening to ourselves and in us trusting ourselves, the unfoldment and the things that we need and the things that we want come to us more easily. There's more ease in life. And I just wish you more ease. And yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your appreciation because that helps me.
Thank you, sis. All right, next.
I have a helicopter in the back. Can you hear that? Monty, I apologize. That is going to be annoying. I live in Philadelphia.
Listen, it's nothing we could do about the elements. We're recording in the elements. Folks got to understand. We're doing the best we can. Monty, don't stress over trying to get all that out. It is what it is. All right.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I am calling because I've been a long-time listener of Around the Way Curls, and I value your guys' opinions all the time. I see you guys as my besties, my internet besties. Anyways, I'm calling because I've been, trigger warning, I guess I should say, I've been dealing with and healing a lot of the sexual abuse that I experienced as a kid and as a young adult. And I wanted to ask Antoinette how she approaches shame and how she lets herself have a human experience when she does something shameful or without shame. It's been triggering me like crazy, and for some reason it keeps coming up in conversations. And I get so easily flustered, and later on I'm like, oh, why did I say that? Why did I do that? I don't let myself experience the shame. I'm like, I need to figure out a way to alter myself later on so that I never make that mistake again. And I hate it. I wish that I could allow myself to be more human. Yeah, any of your advice would be great. Bye, love you guys.
I have no advice. I'm so sorry. I gotta keep it 100. You gotta ask somebody. I am not good with shame. I am not good with not being perfect. I think that's why I take things so personally when I do get, when I do either make a mistake or receive feedback that can feel like a very personal attack. Sometimes they are. Or when I feel victimized, whatever it is, me and shame are still skipping down the street together. And even hearing you say like, experience this, that you want to experience the shame so you can figure out how to alter yourself. Like, I don't know if we should be experiencing a whole lot of shame. I don't know if that's I know that we're always like, feel how you feel. But like shame, I think maybe we observe that and be like, I feel, I feel shame here. Why do I? What is that rooted in? And what is that saying about how I, feel about myself? I wish I had a better reason. Shanti, maybe you do, but I'm still very much working through that. Especially with shame is something you learn when you're sexually abused. You hide.
I don't have the context or the experience of shame through sexual abuse, but I think what you said in observing it first and not identifying immediately with it and getting to the root of just like what you said, what narrative is that supporting about yourself, and then doing the gentle, kind, compassionate work of uprooting that root and creating a new narrative around yourself, versus trying to immediately change yourself and avoid never, experiencing shame again or
making a
never
mistake,
having error again, which is that's just not possible. So I would imagine it's around how you talk to yourself first, I think shame is like we're worried about what other people are thinking about ourselves, or projecting what we think about ourselves onto our worry of what other people are thinking about us, rather than like being aware and then compassionately responsible for how we can change that narrative. And that's a lifetime, child.
Yeah,
that is a lifetime.
I think that's great. The only thing I'm going to add to that is that for me personally, I'm realizing that I can only work on a couple things at a time with myself. And so the shame that I'm trying to get through is the shame that I have around my body. And I know that stems from just learning to be shameful when it comes to my body as a young person for so many reasons, some having to do with sexual abuse, some not. So when it's a learned behavior so young, it's a hard thing to break, and it shows up in a lot of different areas. But I'm not lying when I say I think therapy is a great way to also work through that. But definitely how you talk to yourself is really important. So thank you for sharing that. All right, one more.
Listen, this is Letitia in Texas, and before the clock strikes 12 here, I had to call y'all about this episode for Monday. Me and my son went to go see Creed 3 tonight, and I could not concentrate. My attention kept on going in and out because I kept on referring back to this episode, and all I could hear is just Antoinette talk about Michael B. and how corny he is. And in my mind, I'm just envisioning her saying, corny niggas unite, like how the Power Rangers and stuff do or whatever. But no, for real. I need to know a more in-depth definition of the corniness, because are we talking like the same level of corniness that everybody say Sierra's husband is Russell Wilson? Because if that's the level of corniness that we are referring to, I'm going to choose Michael B., and then it's going to be Jonathan Majors second. Okay, we know Michael B. is not, he's not the swaggy kind of, debonair, we know that's not him, but he has a certain book smart about him. Like, intelligence about him that I find very attractive. So if we're talking like a appetizer of corniness, I can deal with that. But I can't take like a whole entree of corniness. Next thing, this thing about pumping the gas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, pump my gas. My boyfriend pumps my gas when I'm in his presence. I have a son. My son pumps my gas when I need gas. My love language is acts of service. So I appreciate anytime somebody pumps my gas for me. Now, am I gonna let my car run out of gas waiting on somebody to pump my gas for me? No. But it's an act of service to me. So yes, please pump my gas. And I also...
She got cut off and didn't call back. Listen, I'm so happy this happened. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because I distinctly remember during that episode me saying, I'm revisiting and I'm not in agreement anymore that he is corny. And you were the one like, nah, that's just how, you don't have to understand it. And I was sitting there like, you know, his thing with Jonathan Majors is making me look at him different.
Drake lyric. You said that you were on the fence about him being corny, but that you were more swayed to him being like, you were actually realizing, yeah, this nigga might be corny. And you referenced him saying that Drake was the greatest rapper, and you were like, and yes, I'm 10 toes down.
But it's Antoinette. It's Antoinette. Antoinette.
I don't think she was saying it in a way that was.
It's fine. It's fine. I swear to God, it is. I swear to God, it's fine.
Is it?
It is.
It doesn't seem like it.
It's just like whatever. Listen, I don't think Russell Wilson is corny at all. I think this whole conversation is corny. I think Michael B. Jordan. I actually think that he was, or know that he was a fuckboy at a time, and that was corny. He might be growing out of that, and I'm root for him. I think he's a great director. I don't think he's the greatest actor, but I'm fucking rooting for him. And I don't think he's not debonair. I think he absolutely is. I think he's absolutely smart and talented. And so the corny thing, him saying Drake was the greatest rapper of all time, was just wild. In poor taste. What the fuck are you talking about? Also, the clip that we played of him, that was a spoof of him doing the rap thing with the white girl. Like, it's just an easy thing to talk about and make fun of. Yes, it was. It was a spoof. Even somebody called about it. It was a spoof. That was like a skit. Listen,
well, I'm Shanti Mays. You can put this on me. You can quote me. You can put it on me, not on the internet. I think that he is corny. I think he's a different kind of corny than Russell.
I don't think Russell's corny.
I think that he is, I think he is performative of a nice guy, but he's not. And he feels like he doesn't have much of a, I don't know, there's something about his personality that feels like hollow or weird or just not there, or he's doing what he thinks he should be doing. I just think he's corny. I didn't say that means he's a bad actor, he doesn't deserve success, or he's unattractive. Sure, good, but he's corny to me. I don't care. That's me.
You can grow out of what you're talking about, though. I think that's how I define corny.
Of course,
too.
He's not stuck in it, but there's different type of Russell is corny, but corny's not necessarily bad either.
Right. I will wipe
corny
Russell
niggas I dated.
I would get with. Listen, I'm corny and
bad.
Russell, I'm more than happy to be in a relationship with Russell.
Give me his corny
okay,
ass.
go ahead. I'd rather
Russell.
somebody be corny than cool all the fucking time. Too fucking cool. I'm good. Cool. The other thing, I don't want to hear nothing else about this gas. All right?
Girl,
we done with the gas. I swear to God, don't bring up the gas no more, yo. All right? I get it. Also, something else that somebody pointed out to me. Who told me that? Maybe it was Black who had said that we were having a conversation about it because I've never been in the car with him in my car, but I was like, "Would you pop my gas?" He was like, "What are you talking about?" And so I went through the whole thing with him, and he said, "Well, you got to understand that gas stations back in the day was like, especially down south, they were dangerous. Like that's where you got.
They
You got
still
your cars,
fucking dangerous.
right? And they're still dangerous." He was like, "So that's why men would pump gas because it's like you got to make sure
It's
that folks
dirty.
look at you. That
It's
look at
dangerous.
we're
Like-
40 minutes in. We need to take a break. Anyway, Michael B. Jordan, I think, is growing out of whatever that fuckboy thing that he had on him that I personally know about. And that's where this is coming from for me. But I think everybody else says he's nice. Jasmine said he is the nicest person.
You can be nice and corny. He doesn't take away. Like, you guys are thinking to be corny, you have to be like
I think that
pariah
we
or something to
define
stay
corny
away from.
differently. Yeah, I think they are corny. Like a bad corny is like Boosie. Boosie corny as shit to me, and it's like a gross corny. Like,
Great.
Please
Good.
be silenced.
Good.
Have a
Good.
seat. Go, just go meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Boosie be saying some real shit.
Then there's common
sometimes.
corny.
Boy, that's your beef. That's not my beef.
That's
Don't
a
call
corny
up
nigga
here
right
talking
there.
about. I was listening to Common's old music and I couldn't concentrate because Antoinette said Common was corny.
Oh God, girl, stop! Be
Shut up.
quiet.
Shut
Be
up.
quiet,
Just
girl.
go watch the movie, eat your fucking popcorn, and shut up. Anyway, no, thank you for calling. I hope we clarified that. Let's take a break.
She's like, it's okay. It's okay. It just seems that every single time. It's okay. It just seems like.
Did I say
I'm glad that we got this on recording. I think I'm glad. It's okay though. It's okay.
Like, wait, I could have swore I remember you saying like, and I don't have to justify it. I was cracking up. That's why I'm like, what? Why did I mess your movie up? I'm sorry.
You say you messed the movie up.
Listen, my blood is with me. I'm sensitive, and I have shame.
That lady was just teasing.
I know. All right, let's take a break. Can you sing?
These messages will be right back.
You sound like Candy from Escape.
Sound like Jasmine.
No, you sound more like Candy. Boop. What the hell this shit about? I read this and was like,
so loud. Can you hear this? It's actually, I don't know if I can actually record.
oh, I do hear. Yeah, you got to record. Do you ever hear Jada XD, the shit that's going on in her audio? Who they looking for?
It's Philly.
Feels like The Wire. Oh my God, I restarted The Wire because obviously, girl, when Foxtrot was looking for Kima, when she got shot, I did not realize that was season 1. That was season 1, like when Kima got shot.
Kima? Who's Kima?
Don't play with me. The woman cop who was gay.
Oh,
she was the
Kima
undercover.
got shot. That's my boo.
Yeah, ain't your boo.
Fine
You
as hell.
can't even fucking remember her. Talking
Kima
about
is fine. Okay, Kima been fine. She was
You seen
coke
Kima?
addict,
You
She's a
seen
coke
Kima?
addict.
How did you know that?
because I stalked her a little bit. I was like, Kima fine. What's good with your kings? Kima was on Slam. Have you ever seen Slam? When she was in her fucking prime, bro. Ooh.
No, Kima's gorgeous.
What is she? She a Caribbean woman.
I don't know. What is
Her
she
family
look
from like the
Trini? She a Trini woman? Let's see. She's openly lesbian. Oh no, that's from her in The Wire. Oh God.
Son. Oh, she Korean.
She Korean.
She Blasian. Yes.
That is loud as shit. I do hear it now.
She Korean, I think. She Korean and black.
Her mother was Korean and her father was black, and they met when he was stationed during the fucking
And you
Korean
know this,
War.
man. She ain't been right since, y'all.
Damn, Dad. Blue, can you please stop? You ain't hear her jump in that box
It's
and knock all
chaos
that
over
stuff
here.
over? Girl, you gotta relax. It's okay. All right. Are you going to say Joel's coming on next week to talk about this?
Yeah.
Hope he doesn't cancel.
He gets
That is
canceled?
very loud.
Are
your windows
I think we should
closed?
stop
No.
and not have another episode come out on Thursday.
Girl, I think that's a bad idea because we have ads that go up. They need a certain amount of.
Well, this is loud. And let me see what's happening in Philly. Philadelphia emergency.
That's the first thing you should have did. It's like, who the fuck they looking for and why? Wait, what? She not a lesbian in real life.
No, she got kids.
Wait, have you seen her outside of The Wire?
Mm-hmm.
These people, I swear to God, I just got an email from work. These people crazy. Somebody called me 3 times today after 6 o'clock, and the way I did not answer, no, we're not doing that. Adam Plack. I want to know, Australian born. Please let him be white.
Girl, Friday then. What is it, Friday?
What?
No, Sunday. It comes back on.
Have you seen her husband?
He's white. She got divorced because she was acting a fool doing coke. She got divorced. He said, I can't handle it. You coked out again. Or maybe not.
Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. I wasn't ready.
That was a long time ago into that. Not Adam. Adam Plack. Let me see them kids. Adam, look at his outfit. Wait, is his belly button showing? Unacceptable.
No.
Is that her husband?
That's her husband.
No, they divorced in 2011, girl. I told you. She was doing drugs.
Really?
Yeah. They ain't with each other no more. I know the whole story.
How do you know that?
We was reading it. She was acting a fool.
Since then, she worked largely on meditation music with Deepak Chopra. What? Oh, no, that's her husband. Apologies. Let me go back to her. I was like, shit.
Because he said, you're messing up my vibes with all of this intoxicating energy. You're intoxicated.
That makes me so sad. Is she still acting? Yeah. She's doing a little something. She was in Atlanta.
Maybe she's
all right,
better.
come on. Is she better? Oh, God. I want her to be okay. So many people in the cast of The Wire. Sad stories there.
Oh, see, she watched her abusive father.
Fuck.
Then she was molested.
Where are you reading this? Seriously, where are you reading this?
So then she started using drugs and selling drugs. Child.
Oh my God, she was supposed to be killed in the first season. She was supposed to die of The Wire, and they said no because she was so beloved.
She became a poet. That's why she was in Slam, which is my jam.
Do you like slam poetry?
I like that movie Slam, though. When I was younger, I was like, girl, kill it. Sakira.
She read the script and thought, oh my Lord, this is going nowhere. I don't know, it's kind of slow. Child. All right. Come on, let's get into it. Wow.
Her brother was murdered. She done been through it, okay?
What website? Like, where are you reading this?
Amo Mama.
Excuse me? All right. That's why
go.
you ain't tell me.
It's late.
What
I got class tomorrow. Let's go.
I thought your class is on Friday.
I have Thursday and Friday this week, child.
The ghetto. All right, go ahead.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, it's recording the whole time. I apologize.
Yeah, we're not supposed to stop during a break.
I just stopped it. I don't know why I just did that.
Oh.
I got confused.
All right, well, just make sure you label that part 2.
Ready?
Yeah.
And we're back. And, last week we had Dear Dar come on from Bonanonas. And that really had me thinking. This next week, we're going to have Joelle come on. And we're going to have two men that are in practice of alternative relationship styles, whether they be polyamory, open relationship, all that jazz. And I really feel like
Girl, who
we
is Joelle?
needed a foundational...
Wait, can I ask a question real fast? I'm
What?
so sorry. Who is Joelle? You didn't really set that up.
We'll find out next week. We got another
Okay.
man coming on who's going to continue this conversation around polyamory and having different relational dynamics. And I feel like Dara was a great introduction, but both of these men follow, or maybe, I don't know if they follow religiously, but they have an understanding of what relationship anarchy is. And anarchy in general, contrary to the definition that's often given of like complete chaos, it's very much a political philosophy. And Wikipedia says, anarchism is a political philosophy and movement that is skeptical of all justifications for authority and seeks to abolish the institution it claims maintain unnecessary coercion and hierarchy, typically including, though not necessarily limited to, governments, nations, states, and capitalism. And so this idea of abolishing all of these constructions and conditions can also be applied to relationships. And so I wanted to share with all of the Around the Way Curls community this foundation so that, one, we can have deeper conversations, hopefully with Joelle that comes in. And I also wanted to have folks write in some questions, preferred over you guys calling, sending emails. Once we get more groundwork on what this is all about, we can ask some questions, because I have a lot of questions. And I feel like for myself, from my personal point of view, y'all, I guess, are getting a sense of my politics. Oh, fuck it, I'm getting a sense of my politics. And I think for a very long time, I'm examining myself now in that I feel like I should accept and lean towards these alternative possibilities that, like, automatically, if it's breaking the establishment, if it is helping us dismantle gender norms and our conditions of what our preconceived conditions of what sexuality is, which are often governed and founded in patriarchy and capitalism, all these things, like, oh, you know, of course it's cool, of course it's good. And I don't think I'm about that shit no more so much right now. If I'm going to be completely honest, I think I'm going to be honest. I think I'm in a place of honoring consciousness, right? If you are following and believing in any part of your life in an unconscious, unintentional way, I think that that's dangerous. And that can go for you being polyamorous, or you feeling like your role is to be a wife and, you know, get married, have kids, and your man should always fucking pump your gas and pay your bills. If you're doing that in a way where you're not conscious and intentional of it, I think it's dangerous. So I've become more aware of the ways in my left leaning, if we had to name it, very far left leanings of like, girl, do you really feel that way? Is that what you really want? And is that what's really going to work for your life and your desires? And so in learning that we were going to have these conversations with these men, I came up, or I think Joelle brought up
He suggested it.
manifesto, or the philosophy of relationship anarchy. And so I did some research and I found this manifesto and I listened to some podcasts about it. And I wanted to share this manifesto with you guys because I think, and I may be making a great assumption, but I think this is the foundation from which polyamory rests on. And
what
is
relationship anarchy, though, first? Can you, could
So
you
it is
explain? Okay.
It is the idea, similarly to this anarchy, it's the idea of breaking through these norms, these established norms that we have. The idea that your partner, your romantic partner ends up, and your family, your nuclear family, ends up taking, is valued and it has a higher, is on a hierarchy, is the highest thing that needs to be protected. If you have a husband, he comes first, then it's your kids, then it's your friends, then it's your extended family, and then it's your extended community. The idea that monogamy is it, and is the way that you go, and that's what the model that you follow, and that's what works for you. And any other deviance, you deviate from that, then you are like bad.
There's some polygamists who do follow relationship anarchy, where they have a primary partner, a secondary partner.
Well,
I don't know the word. Just so you.
I think polyamory is the flower that grows from relationship anarchy. Like this is these are the values of like you. This is the philosophy in which polyamory, open relationships, and I mean, people can have normal marriages that are based in this as well. It doesn't have to be only around a polyamorous, more than one kind of partnership. It's not like relationship anarchy, polyamory, open relationship. It's not like a type.
I think that, okay. I think we're saying the same thing. Yeah. Relationship anarchy exists in all of the things.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. And so this is the manifesto that I wanted to share with you and consider some of these things. And so the manifesto, I believe, was created in 2016. Again, I don't think that it is the source of polyamory, but it is a school of thinking and value that a lot of people like fuck with now. But it's fairly recent. This manifesto is fairly recent versus the practice and the theory existed way before this manifesto. It was written by Andy Nordgren. I feel like he's from Iceland. Very short and sweet. I'll read it off and then we can go and break down our interpretations and our feelings around it. So 1, love is abundant and every relationship is unique. 2, love and respect instead of entitlement. 3, find your core set of relationship values. 4, heterosexism is rampant and out there, but don't let fear lead you. 5, build for the lovely unexpected. 6, fake it till you make it. 7, trust is better. 8, change through communication. And 9, customize your commitments. And so, in listening to podcasts and breaking down what this all means, there are some things that make common sense to me, but there are also some things that feel completely different from the way that I live my life and perhaps the way that I want to live my life. So 1, love is abundant and every relationship is unique. It's the idea that you have the capacity to love more than one person, and one relationship and love for that person doesn't diminish the love that you have for another. It definitely conflicts or goes against, I think, our idea of scarcity. I think just in America and capitalism, we often just move from a place of scarcity. So the idea of like, oh, you can't have more than one best friend. If you're partnered, and it's like you have to put your partner's needs before your best friend's needs, or the idea that a married relationship is better than perhaps a, non-married, you're just in a relationship, you've just been dating for like 2 months. This idea that there's no rank, there's no hierarchy, and there's no limit to the amount of love that can be experienced and shared in all of your relationship dynamics, and that each relationship is unique so that you don't have to do a role or perform this thing of, this performance of this is what friendship is, this is how you show up as a friend, a wife, a husband, a mother, a cousin, a neighbor. What do you think about that?
I think that reading it, I understand what they're saying. I don't know how I feel about it in practice, how my mind would wrap around it. I think that I have to think about it. I mean, I think that we have these, I think we have these hierarchies in place so that we can understand how to function within the society that we live in, obviously, right? It's like, okay, if you are my husband, there's certain expectations of me now, and I know how to show up. And I think what we're moving away from is what society's expectations of you are, and more so what your expectations and needs are for each other. I get it. In practice, though, like every relationship I will say this, every relationship is unique. I believe that love is abundant. I used to get in a lot of trouble in a relationship because my partner would always say, you love every fucking body. What's the difference between you loving me and you loving this person? Like, I just get to fuck you. That's what literally he would say that.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so, that was confusing to me because I'm like, wait, in my mind, I'm like, well, yeah, I do love these people. But the way that I show up for you is completely different. And the amount of time and energy and care, and also the prioritization of you, of your needs. And so for me, I do think love is abundant. I do feel that you can love multiple people. Just my way of being. There is a prioritization though, because I try to do that for too many people at once. And I actually, you can't. Like there's not, I physically, emotionally can't. So if there's a moment where, my lover needs me, my mom needs me, my dad needs me, my sister needs me, like all of these folks that are high ranking, it's like, how do you figure out how do you navigate that? And really it's like, you have to be honest with, you have to first know how they need love, and then you have to be honest about what you can offer. But there are decisions to be made about where your love and energy and time is going to go. And so I just feel like innately there's hierarchy, sadly. But I believe that love is abundant, but there can still be a hierarchy in terms of prioritization, of making sure folks get the care and love that they need from me. Does that make sense?
Kind of. Yeah, I feel what you're saying. I guess in the example that you're giving, though, the priority not being about the position of the person in your life versus the need that they need from you in that moment. Like if 5 people need you, of those people that you mentioned, and one person's need is dire versus another person, I think that's the decision that's made versus like, oh, it's my partner, like he comes first, or it's my mom and like she comes first.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to shift. It's absolutely going to shift. But so the people who I love outside of that circle are, yeah,
They're
I guess
outside of that circle, though. They're like they are the last on the.
they're not last. Now, if their needs were dire, I would ask for my circle, that those people who are high priority to me, that I'm like, if they needed a kidney, they gonna get it. Then yes, like I would ask for them to understand and hope that they would, like, yo, my friend is down and out. I gotta go. I gotta be there. I gotta whatever. I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I think that's a great point. It's definitely it again. And what if it's not dire? What if it's just you're just spreading fucking love? Then it's much easier. I think it only gets complicated when, again, scarcity. Maybe there's scarcity of time, scarcity of energy, when needs need to be met, or if it came down to it and you was on your last dollar, I would expect you to feed Joe before you feed me. There's no questions asked. There's a hierarchy there. It would be insane for it not to be that.
I guess it's the conditioning, though, of always to come from this space of scarcity versus this other space of it actually being a more possibility that you do have time to share and resources to share, and that I think in this idea of primary partners in heterosexual relationships, the way that you form your life and your expectations from, Esther Perel talks about it all the time. You find this partner and we want everything from this person. And
now that I don't think is real. Yeah.
But it comes from like a hierarchy. I think it's deeply seated in, that is the expectation that we have from a primary partner, that they're supposed to give to us what community can give, because we're not conditioned to expect it or to live our lives in a way that's what we're doing, because energetically, logistically, your time would have to be spent with the meals, the way you live your life would have to be far more community centered, and not just like, oh, I'm gonna go see my girlfriends on the weekend. Yeah, to get so many needs met, it actually logistically would have to be a lot of your time would be shared, and it wouldn't mean that another person is.
I don't know if I identify with that, though. I don't know if I identify with that, though. No. I don't know if I identify with what you're saying in terms of that's how I feel, because I haven't had that often. So my relationships are very like spread out and are based in community. Like you see what I'm saying? Like it is like, I have Jade. I have so many different circles that I spend time with and that I spend time in. And so I think in that relationship, the thing that partner of mine struggled with was the fact that there were things that I could get and give to you all that were completely different than what I could get and give to him.
And he was in conflict about the hierarchy.
Couldn't understand that. Yeah. And I was just like, it's a completely different thing.
Yeah, every relationship is unique. And the time that you're giving to another person does not put you in deficit, because there is no deficit.
It's just different. The hierarchy point is when because I understand, like, I don't want to approach it from only a place of lack and scarcity, but I will say that's when the kind of theory gets a little debunked, where I would be remiss not to bring it up. Is like, well, if there is a lack, because in the society that we live in, like, and we'll get into this when we talk to Joelle, but even in a lot of polyamorous relationships, there's still a primary partner. There's still somebody you live with. There's still somebody on your insurance. There's still somebody you got kids with, that you pay bills with. Like, there's still like,
it gets more time and resources because that's why I'm saying it's not
the way that our society is shaped. I get it, but in practice, I don't know if it works within the confines in which we live.
Number 2, love and respect instead of entitlement. Deciding to not base a relationship on a foundation of entitlement is about respecting others' independence and self-determination. Your feelings for a person or your history together does not make you entitled to command and control a partner to comply with what is considered normal to do in a relationship. Rather than looking for compromises in every situation, let loved ones choose paths that keep their integrity intact without letting this mean a crisis for the relationship. Staying away from entitlement and demands is the only way to be sure that you are in a relationship that is truly mutual. Love is not more real when people compromise for each other because it's part of what's expected. Woo! Ha! Wow.
That
You don't want to do that?
That didn't.
What do you mean you don't think you should pump my gas, nigga?
I'm the worst because that didn't mean shit to me. There was no wow moment for me in that. Really, I'm listening to that and I'm just like, but isn't the whole thing that you talk about what your needs are and then the person decide that they're honest about whether or not they can fulfill them?
How is that against that?
But how is that not compromise? How is that not like you're sitting there?
The person says I can't meet those needs. Like, it's more about the autonomy and the integrity of the person versus just because we're honest about what our needs are, if it's not in alignment with what the person can give, does that then mean that the relationship is over? Does it mean like
it depends on what the need is?
Person to deter from what their internal guide is?
No, it depends on it depends on what the need is. If I am telling you that there is a need that I have in order to be loved, then maybe we don't belong together. Doesn't mean I don't love you in order to be in relationship.
But doesn't it open up for the possibility that you can be with that? If
it depends on what the need is.
Well, if the love is abundant, right? And everybody has their own autonomy and can make their own decisions. If you have a need and you say, I need this to be met, and the other person says, I cannot do that, but I still want to be in a relationship with you, then it opens up the door for that need to be met by other people or in other
to me that's the compromise. So maybe it's the language just fucking me up. If I have a need, let's use sex because that's obviously the easiest one. If I have a sexual need that a partner is just like, absolutely not, no, never, but I really need that, then that's where I think you sit down and you start, well, what are the possibilities here? So that is compromise to me. It's not, I'm going to compromise and you have to do it sometimes. Sure. It's not that. It's that, to me, that is the compromise. So I'm just like, well, no, there is room for compromise in relationship. And hopefully a lot of it's happening. To me, the compromise is the possibility.
But I guess in normal relationships, right? Which is in the box of a nuclear family, a man and wife monogamy, that means that person has to offer that to you, or it's a deal breaker, or they have to compromise in a way in which their integrity isn't intact. So this is
we're talking about this in terms of monogamy.
This list of things is an offering for a relationship alternatives, because I don't know in a nuclear married monogamous relationship, if the person can't give you what you need, often it's a deal breaker, or somebody's integrity has to be compromised in the name of compromise. You know what I mean? So this is like, actually, we're autonomous. I can still be with you. We can still be in relationship, but nobody's integrity has to be compromised. And I'm giving you the space to go get your needs also are important, and you can go get them met without the relationship crumbling, which automatically means that it breaks the norms of what a monogamous relationship is.
I think That makes sense. I also would like to reserve space for the person who's like, no, I don't. I would like X,
I
Y,
want
and
it
Z
from you.
needs to be
Yeah.
met
By you.
by the person who plays this role in my life.
Absolutely. Again,
So-
it's all about your conscious intention and your desires.
Yeah.
This may sound good, but also no, I want this to always be from my needs need to be met by
From the person I live with, this is what I'm looking for. Or from my best friend, this is what I'm looking for. From the person that I go,
Girl.
on vacations with, these are my needs.
And that is a beautiful intro to find your core set of relationship values. This,
Yeah.
I feel like, should be number one. This is where I fucked up and where I need to start. Find your core set of relationship values. How do you wish to be treated by others? What are your basic boundaries and expectations on all relationships? What kind of people would you like to spend your life with, and how would you like your relationships to work? Find your core set of values and use it for all your relationships. Don't make special rules and expectations as a way to show people you love them for real. Oh my goodness. Wow. So it's like a mini manifesto that you have to create for yourself. And this is what is communicated and is your compass when you show up in the world and in your relationships. And often, again, I feel like monogamy and the heterosexual structure often already has those roles set out about, again, often led by gender, what a woman's supposed to do, what a married couple's supposed to look like, what a woman's supposed to want, not want, vice versa for men, versus it coming from this deeply personal experience that can fucking change as well. Your values can change over time, but if you are practicing consciousness and intentionality in the type of relationships that you have, often through trial and error, they can change. And I don't think we're often taught that, number one, and nor are we mirrored that in society. So I appreciate that one very much. I don't know what number we're on. Heterosexism is rampant and out there, but don't let fear lead you. Remember that there's a very powerful normative system in play that dictates what real love is and how people should live. Many will question you and the validity of your relationships when you don't follow these norms. Work with the people you love to find escapes and tricks to counter the worst of the problematic norms. Find positive counter spells and don't let fear drive your relationships. So basically, I mean, and I guess, listen,
What
Florida,
is heterosexism first? Because I don't know if everybody's going to know what that is.
Heterosexism is a man-woman relationship where it's a female and a man. It's not homosexual or any type of other sexual variance in a relationship.
It's a discrimination or prejudice against folks that do not subscribe to hetero.
Oh, forgive me.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
racism. I didn't know that. Forgive me. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I guess in this time where a lot of those laws are being reintroduced and very real for a lot of people, the idea of finding escapes and tricks of doing whatever the fuck you have to do, if it means, and what they're saying here, to even hide, it feels like that's what I'm reading there, in order to have the relationship that you need, then perhaps that is what needs to happen, especially if there's safety. Your safety's at risk, but to not let the fear lead you. I don't know. I just have the luxury and the privilege of not necessarily having to experience that to even interpret that clearest. But what do you think about it?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have what you're reading from in front of me.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry. Hold on. It's on the link there. You see that hyperlink in there?
Yeah, okay.
Build for the lovely unexpected. Being free to be spontaneous, to express oneself without fear of punishments or a sense I think this one is also important. It's really hard to do. I think when you have for the build for the lovely unexpected, I think it sounds very good. This one's harder for me. With a role as a mother, that there's just some expectations that I have in a partner, and I mean, I guess to demands as well, and this idea to go into a relationship on pure spontaneity and not have demands or a clear sense of what it is that you're looking for is very counterintuitive to me.
This feels like it's in conflict with find your core set of
I believe
relationship
so,
values.
too.
So I'd love to talk to Joelle about that.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. I don't.
Maybe we're not understanding what relationship values are. Maybe they have nothing to do with expectations, which then I give up. I am confused.
Fake it till you make it.
Hate it. Hate it. But go ahead. As soon as you read it, I was like, what?
I don't know what it means. Sometimes it can feel like you need to be some complete superhuman to handle all the norm breaking involved in choosing relationships that don't map to the norm. A great trick is the fake it till you make it strategy. When you are feeling strong and inspired, think about how you would like to see yourself act. Transform into some simple guidelines and stick to them when things are tough. Talk and seek support from others who challenge norms, and never reproach yourself when the norm pressure gets you into behavior you didn't wish for. I guess, for example, if you decide to be in a polyamorous relationship and you start feeling jealousy, or you start feeling like, I don't know, this shit isn't really working. Stay strong, comrade. I don't know.
It's not very radically honest, but okay. Continue.
That's not part of it. This one I love. This is one that I want to live. This is one that I want for all my relationships. Trust is better. Choosing to assume that your partner does not wish you harm leads you down a much more positive path than a distrustful approach where you need to be constantly validated by the other person to trust that they are there with you in the relationship. Sometimes people have so much going on inside themselves that there's just no energy left to reach out and care for others. Create the kind of relationships where withdrawing is both supported and quickly forgiven, and give people lots of chances to talk. I didn't read all the rest of that. I just read the first part. Explain, see you, and be responsible in the relationship. Remember your core values and to take care of yourself, though. I think what resonates with me so very much is to assume that people aren't out to harm you versus thinking immediately. And this goes beyond just fucking relationships. I think this belongs to friendships. I think this belongs to all your relationships. Shit, my relationship with my mother. It's not that this person is out to hurt you.
I think the withdrawing part that we're both withdrawing from in this, where it's like,
yeah, I'm like,
I think that's more around have compassion. And if you really love and understand your partner, you know, this has nothing to do with me. They're going to go, this is their coping mechanism. They're not trying to hurt me.
Exactly.
They'll be back. That's very hard to do.
That's a very difficult one to do because, child.
Because when you're anxious attachment, that's why all this shit is conflicting, yo. I can't follow it all. You just got to choose the path for you and find the person that's on that same fucking path. I don't know. But I love the first part.
Change the communication. For most human activities, there is some form of norm in place for how it's supposed to work. If you want to deviate from this pattern, you need to communicate. Otherwise, things tend to end up just following the norm as others behave according to it. I loved the conversation with Dar and how overly communicative he is in his relationship. And that is I feel like the norm in relationships is to assume, especially with men, assume that, what do we assume about that they're not going to talk, that they are going to withdraw, that they are going to giving so much space for that versus being super communicative and being like, I need to know what's going on. You're moving this way. What do I need to do when you move this way, and vice versa? That's definitely something that I would like to implement. I think in our relationship communication, we could over communicate a lot more. All relationships, I think there's this idea of resignation and assuming that, it doesn't offer the clarity that it could if you just asked a question, stated how you felt about something. This is the last one. Customize your commitments. Life would not have much structure or meaning without joining together with other people to achieve things. Constructing a life together, raising children, owning a house, or growing together through thick and thin. Such endeavors usually need lots of trust and commitment between people to work. Relationship anarchy is not about never giving commitment to Relationship anarchy is not about never committing to anything. It's about designing your own commitments with the people around you and freeing them from norms dictating that certain types of commitments are required for love to be real, or that some commitments like raising children or moving in together have to be driven by certain kinds of feelings. Start from scratch and be explicit about what kind of commitments you want to make with other people.
That works. I'm sure that works for some people. I'm like, listen, okay.
You're a very traditional girl.
I'm not. I actually don't think I am. I just don't think that some of this isn't resonating, because I think I don't ever want to put myself in a position to feel shame around the things that I do want, or to feel like I'm crazy for wanting those things. But it's my conditioning. It's about desire. I get it. I think that there's so many possibilities to raising children. I don't think it's a bad thing to want to raise children with a primary partner if that's what you want. Now, if you're down for I'm raising kids, I actually don't live with my partner. I actually live in a duplex with my homegirls. We all have each other's back. My partner comes in and out. Then that works for you. Yeah. But if that doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean you are closed-minded or upholding patriarchy or all the things. I don't know. That there's one sentence in there that's kind of it will work for some people and it's not going to work for others. Where is it? Commitments. It's about designing your own commitments with the people around you and freeing them from the norms dictating that certain types of commitments are a requirement for love to be real, or that some commitments like raising children or moving in together have to be driven by certain kinds of feelings. No, they don't have to be, but it's okay if you want them to be. If you want this person to move in because you're deeply in love with them, in romantic love, and you want them to show up and help you raise your kid, that's okay.
Or if you're not in deep romantic love, but this is your partner in logistics in life.
There you go.
And you're raising these kids together, but you also have this other thing.
Exactly.
Again, I think it's just...
It's just what works for you.
I love the word of integrity and alignment. How you want to live your life in a conscious way that you have integrity, and it doesn't have to be. I guess I'm only speaking for myself. It really needs to be from a place of conscious deciding and not just slipping into something. And I feel like so much friendships, motherhood, romantic relationships, we have these assignments and these roles that society gives us that we do not often really sit and be like, does that really feel good to me? Or this shit does not feel good to me and nothing's wrong with me that the way that this is playing out feels good to me. Or this shit is lit. I love it. White picket fence, husband, gas pumping, 2 kids and a dog.
Yeah.
And he ain't seeing nobody else ever. Like Michelle Obama, Barack Obama goals. I get it. I guess that's what I would just hope that we all begin to kind of dissect. And I think if we were all completely honest, it would probably be a mix of traditional and some non-traditional things as well.
And it's okay not to know, because some possibilities, when they present themselves, you're like, oh, wait a minute.
I'm gay.
All right. Just leave. I saw you. She started skipping over some of the paragraphs in here, and I said, this bitch is tired. She didn't think this one through. She said, how many bullets are left? I saw you. Started sinking in your seat. There's that space between the top of your head and the top of the screen. Start again.
No, I'm sorry. I cut you off. What were you saying?
No, that's it. That really, but like, maybe you are somebody who's like, I absolutely want to live with a partner. I absolutely this. And then you meet somebody and it is the most incredible relationship, and they don't want to live with you. They don't want to, but they do want to see your ass like 5 times out the week. And you like, you know what? This is kind of lit. Mm-hmm. We financially good. You just go ahead and stay over there. Or, you know, like the possibility, you don't know. It's okay not to know. You don't have to go in knowing like, this is exactly how my relationship has to look.
Oh, well,
I just don't think that's fair either.
The build for the lovely unexpected, Internet. Not you being a relationship anarchist. Look it up.
You get on my nerves. You just told me I was a traditionalist. I don't know what I am.
Not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm open to the possibilities of the thing, but I know that for me, hierarchy exists. Sorry.
Hierarchy definitely exists for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Come on. First, second, third.
So who's first? What's first on your hierarchy?
It always depends on the scenario. If my mother's in the hospital,
No.
So
of
you
course,
give me a scenario.
No, that just in your mind, you have a hierarchy of people in your life. What is it? It's not around their demand of you or their service of you. It's like, all right, this person's first, this is second, then this is
then if it's not in demand of a service from me or where I need to show up, then I don't think like that. I said that earlier. I don't think, maybe I didn't say it right. It comes into play when I have to, if I'm limited. I can't be, love is unlimited. I can love you, but if I have to show up or be in service or drop everything, like if somebody needs a kidney, who getting it?
Yeah, I don't think it's that. What they're meaning is that drastic or demand oriented. It's more like that we put husband and wife first, kids are second, family is third, and then your greater community is fourth. Is often the hierarchy that we American norms run by.
I got it.
And God first, of course, white Jesus.
I remember a woman saying, you know, when you get married, who you gonna feed first, your husband or your kids? And I was like,
that is a conversation in the Black community. My fucking self, nigga.
That part, I never said that. I was like, child, I'll starve for the both of them, martyr. No, I mean, I know that that's a thing. I know. I mean, like, I hope I'm not married to somebody who's fucking clocking that. But he will have the big piece of chicken. He will be nourished. The kids will be nourished too. Hopefully, he helping me feed these fucking kids. I don't get it. Like I'm just like, yo, if we're clocking this shit, then I give up.
I feel like I'm moving towards just normative gender roles for me.
I was about to say, you say all this.
I think that's what it's gonna be.
Y'all, Shanti is so traditional. It's like you say all this, and I'm like, What? You want to not work? You want to be home? You want your gas
till the
pump?
child is 5 years old. I know that. That's it. We're gonna have a baby. I'm not working. I'll be damned if you have me go to work at 6 weeks. Are you high? We're not gonna have a kid.
That's what I'm saying.
I could never.
And I'm not mad at you.
It's not natural. It ain't right.
You are more traditional than the most of us. I'll say that. Out of the two of us, you are more traditional.
Yeah, I would argue against that.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would argue against that.
That's funny.
I mean, if that were the case, girl, the proof would be in the pudding. And the proof ain't in the pudding, child.
What you mean by that?
I would have a traditional life. My life is so far from any. I would
don't always happen the way you want them to go. I'm talking about your want.
If I valued a traditional lifestyle, I would have been married. And I didn't. I would have been married.
No, you didn't find the person that you wanted to marry. What you mean? You gotta if you had it your way, it would be that. Like you said, I don't know if I ever want to be married. Truly.
Child. All right, now I don't.
That gives me a little bit of anxiety, and I also want my own room or my own apartment. But I want to sleep together all the time. I just want to be able to have that.
Well, that's
space.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about at this point.
How?
I don't know. I don't know what makes you think that. Anyway, I don't. Possibly, I don't know. Right now, it's real. It's real out here in the field. So
we're done. How long is this episode?
For all of you guys who want to take a look at this, all you have to do is Google the Relationship Anarchy Manifesto by what is the kind man's name?
Maybe you could kindly drop it
Andy
in the description.
Andy Norton. And if you have questions and comments for the God that's going to come up and lives his life deeply connected to these values, then I think we should be prepared for them because we have more.
I don't know. I don't know if he does. I know him personally, but all right.
Well, maybe he has firsthand experience to answer.
He just brought it up as a topic. He ain't saying he lived it.
He'd be like, I don't know.
Listen,
he has firsthand experience, at least.
Maybe you can drop this link in the description. I was trying to say that earlier. I don't think you could hear me.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what we're going to talk to him about. You didn't cover it all, child.
He didn't want to talk about all of this.
What do you want to talk about?
He said, I don't want it to be prescribed. He said, I want it to be a conversation. It doesn't need to be bulleted. So I just wanted to lay the foundation for everybody to know.
Lay it down, girl.
What it's all about, child. So
hopefully, maybe.
Get us to your husband and your wife and whoever.
Listen.
Tell them you want to stop compromising for your ass. I ain't get my needs met. And also, I want to see my friends more. And he gonna say, girl, I pay all the bills.
Shotty.
So what you gonna do now?
What?
And then you could be like, well.
I think it's weird that compromise has a negative connotation now. I'm like, compromise
folks,
if you are betraying yourself. Yes. But compromise, I don't think that the basis of compromise
and not having integrity, or I apologize.
I don't think that the basis of compromise is rooted in betraying yourself. It's you being honest about what you need and what you want. The other person doing the same, and then you guys finding a middle ground that feels good for both of you.
Yeah. But if you're doing stuff and you don't feel good about it, like, oh, I'm compromising, but it's actually...
Why is that even an option in the compromise?
Because people do it all the time. You never compromise.
That's not compromising.
Like,
then that's betraying. Then that's lying.
Well, they're saying don't do it. You keep your autonomous human being, keep your integrity intact. Fuck that hoe.
Maybe we have too much freedoms. Maybe we should. Maybe Kevin Samuels and your mother's right.
Maybe you should get married. You know what your role is. Stay in your lane. Keep this society clean and simple and make America great again.
Because that's how it's all structured. Yeah, that's how it's structured. So If you want to struggle and have your own place, Antoinette, instead of living with you, shacking up with your guy.
Somebody said this though, and
Oh,
it really, this is the last thing that, and whatever your form of partnership is, cool. But I think I wrote it in here. She said, partnership allows for you to get more shit done in less time. I said, won't he do it? And a community, if you had a community to that, child, building nations. All right, Internet, you are loved. Take
How
care
much?
of yourself. Before who?
What's my rank?
You got other friends? You the main one, like, who that? Girl.
That's a joke too, though. But also, I never sat up here and said that hierarchy wasn't a thing. I just need to know, like, if I needed a kidney and that person needed a kidney, you would give it to me first, right? that gives me a little bit of solace. Like, hold up. If you say I'm your best friend out of all your friends, I'm getting a kidney. Right?
I'm going to give it to my neighbor who need it.
See, that's tricky. If me and your neighbor both needed it at the same time.
Again, why are you coming from these extreme scarcity, high crises places versus
this shit is real. It's
whatever I need, my needs will be met because it's abundant.
That's
regardless
just not
of who
true.
It's coming
You
from.
don't have an abundance of kidneys, bitch. You can only give out one. This is what I'm saying. Like, this shit reads good. We don't have an abundance of money.
I can't wait for Joel. We do, but it's for rich people.
Right. We don't have access
there is
to
an
it.
abundance of money.
It's like, it all makes sense in theory, but y'all not living in the world that we live in. That's all I'm saying. I hate to burst the bubble.
When you talk to your boy about it, and don't be sitting there like, wow, that's interesting.
I'm gonna be like, Joel, if I needed a kidney and your lady needed a kidney, who the fuck getting a kidney? We need the kidney at the same time, Joel. Who getting it?
I can't wait for you to ask him.
I can't wait to say it. He gonna be like, shut up and hang up. Why are you wasting my time?
He'll be like,
he's gonna say my lady.
Duh. And he'll be like, proof point, hierarchies rule. This hippie shit drools.
That's not my point. I think there's a lot of great. I don't mean that. I'm not trying to shoot it down because I think there's a lot we can learn from in it. It's just hierarchy.
Again, whether you're doing a traditional or alternative thing, if you're doing it with the consciousness, it's for me. But if you niggas want to do the gender role, rock out with your cock out. If you niggas want to have multiple partners and a commune life, kids every there, do your thing. But don't do it just because.
Monty, delete that, and we're going to go. Delete that, Monty. All right, everybody. I just want to remind you that we'll be back next week with our guest, Joel Leon, who will hopefully clarify some of this.
Will he?
Most likely not. He'll make us even more confused and be like, well, we have to actually get in a relationship together and then share someone. That's where we're going to end up. 25 years, bet, watch.
25 years, girl. It's over.
No, it's not. I thought this shit was abundant.
No.
You not
Women are done at 45, don't you know? Botox, bitch.
You hear y'all? You hear Queen, y'all? She talk? That's the traditionalist.
Botox. The fucking China fucked up, girl. Put that shit back in.
First of all, that was fillers. That was fillers that she took out, you monster.
Let me get some Botox. Y'all think I'm playing when I come out like soft face. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
I can't believe.
Let me make a note to take that out.
Girl.